right?
Yeah, I
Like
think
make it
so.
unique each time.
Yeah, a little whistling. Hey, welcome in to In the Know with Steph and Joe. Only Joe. Steph had to go.
Steph had to go.
And today we are going to be talking about billing process for insurance claims.
This is going to be riveting.
It is going to be riveting.
I mean, well, let's face it. To be honest, this is really information that we should all know. I could tell you my first claim that I had to deal with was when I was 16, had my driver's license for 3 months, driving down the road, snowy road, and some lady didn't stop at the end of her driveway. Not some lady, she was my neighbor. We didn't like her, though. We didn't pay attention much to her, but she didn't stop at the end of her driveway, pulled right out in front of me, and man, I T-bowed the crap out of her. Her fault. Insurance claim. I got the benefit of that, but that was the first one I ever dealt with, and I had no idea what to do, but I just happened to stumble upon doing it correctly. Right? Like that's, to me, one of your first ones is you could see as being a teenager. Other than that, being, a new driver, other than that, your parents are probably going to handle most of your claims, right?
Yeah.
As a young kid. So first one to me was driving.
Well, just a couple quick shout outs, right? To Steph's books, of course, gladly sponsoring the show. So Steph's book.
We got to give her a shout out, even though she had to go.
So Steph's bookkeeping, if for all your bookkeeping needs, if you don't know how to keep a book, call stephsbooks.com.
If you don't have a library, call Steph's Books.
Yeah, she's a keeper of books.
She keeps all books.
Yeah. And of course, our good friends over at Restoration One of Cary, for all your smoke, fire, water damage, mold, if you need it restored.
Anything Molly maids won't clean up, or not anything a maid service won't clean up. I shouldn't say that. That's like saying Kleenex.
Yeah. So Christine Ditzler, good friend of the show, also one of your partners in crime, always says if you need to get the scene clean, call Christine. And being a lender, I'm always like, hey, I put the happy ending in lending, and then it didn't make sense to me, did it?
Did it make sense? I feel like you knew what you were doing there.
Can't prove that in a court of law. And of course, you know what?
Court of law, that's very appropriate for billing processes.
It is. And it is Friday. So our good friends over at J&H Events and Flowers have $5 Friday. So if you need a quick, fresh bouquet of flowers for only $5, tell them you heard it right here, 21.6 a night. If you're in a tight spot and you don't have that $5, tell them you heard it on 21.6 the net. And guess what? Tom's Productions will pick up that $5 for you.
Hush yourself. Really?
Yeah.
That's a great deal.
That is a great deal.
Impressive.
Right?
I'm impressed.
And so, so J&H Flower and Events, you'll see them scroll back there.
Include and Tom's Production. Let's not leave Tom out because Tom deserves some.
Picking up $5 tab.
Picking up the $5 tab for people. I like that.
Oh. So if you want to impress your honey and you ain't got the money.
Did you make that up just now?
Just on the fly.
Oh
my God, what's happening here?
You literally are
all over the place.
Just not
so sorry.
Functioning right now.
I don't know what's going on.
All right. Let's get into the actual conversation.
Yeah.
So we have our insurance billing, right? Let's say you have an insurance claim and you have to go and deal with the insurance side of things.
Yes.
There are multiple ways that you can have a claim. First, I think most people just don't think of like all the types, right? Some people just mind goes straight to health insurance claim, or straight to an auto claim, or in my mind, straight to a property claim. Right. There are multiple different types of claims. You could be sued. And that is a claim, right? Where your insurance may cover your assets.
Yes.
So to me, there's so many different ways that claims can be put in. How many different ways have you been involved in claims? Because I've been probably involved in all but like being sued.
Say that again.
I haven't been sued.
Right.
How many have you? You haven't been sued.
No.
Right. Have you been auto claims?
Yeah.
Have you had an auto claim?
Yeah.
Have you had a property claim?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you had a medical claim?
Yeah.
And how was the experience for all those? Different in each of them? The same?
Yeah, well, actually, when I was a young lad, I was 18 years old. I was in a car accident, and they eventually took us to court.
Was it your fault?
Yes.
Huh.
Yes, it was.
Huh.
But of course, the insurance company, they're really suing the insurance company, not me.
Right. And really, it's their insurance company suing your insurance company.
Yeah. But so what no, I mean, she was going for money.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Medical money or
time lost, those type of things. But I mean,
it
was
100%.
Yeah. It was back in the 80s.
That's weak.
Yeah, it was. So anyway, but because I was at that in Iowa, you had 3 years you had the window to file a lawsuit.
Yeah.
Right. And then it would go out the window on the last day of the 3rd year she filed. So it didn't go to court till like 3.5 years later.
Wow.
So it was, I had great attorneys, right? My Allstate or whoever it was. I don't even remember. Great attorneys. And I was in the trades at the time. I was building. So they would ask, how many feet, how many this, how many that. And I could tell you because I was in the trades. I was a carpenter.
You knew.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, these tiles are, 2 feet. Here go.
Yep. Yes.
Hey, Diggs, what's happening? Glad to have you with us. And anyway, so it didn't go well for them. She got no money, but my dad, because the policy was in my dad's name at the time, right? I was a covered driver and it was in my dad's car. He had to end up taking 3-4 days off of work because he no longer lived in that town. So we had to go back to that town, get in a hotel. So there was cost involved.
Relatively speaking, I mean, you didn't have to pay hundreds of thousands, $250,000 or $1 million out to this lady.
Yep, correct. No money was.
Wow. Yeah. When I got in my accident, I literally blew right into the lady, and she pulled out in front of me and right out of her driveway, didn't stop, and I T-boned the crap out of her. She, in fact, was turning left into me, and I hit her so hard she was facing the same way I was going.
Oh.
Yeah, I spun her right around. She wound up giving me $500 to fix my headlight.
So how that hurt you was your headlight?
No, my bumper and my headlight were bad, but the car wasn't even worth $500.
Okay.
So they just gave me it's Michigan. They have messed up insurance in Michigan. Auto insurance, it's really different. So like she just paid out the max, which was $500 because I had PLPD. I don't know, and so that was it. So I just got my money, walked away, got a new headlight. So my headlight worked. That was $150, and I put the other $350 into my insurance to pay it up for a few months and a year ahead. And I was riding for free for a while. I love that, right? I just had to pay for gas. I don't know. I never my auto accidents, I never got taken to court. That's why I say it's good. You've been taken to court, you've been sued.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
So when I asked you that, you said no.
I hadn't been sued though, the insurance company. Right.
But I've never been taken to court, even the insurance company.
Yeah, that was
because you had to be present, right?
Yes.
I never have had to be. How do you feel when you go in there? Are you intimidated?
No, again, I had the attorneys gave us at that time VHS tapes, right? On how to prepare for court, how to answer questions, what to look like.
For our audience, can you please describe what a VHS tape
is? So they had this. It was like a series, like a four VHS cassette. They said, "Watch this. Take notes. If you have questions, let us know. If you go through these tapes, then you will do fine." Right? And sure as heck, my dad's like, sit down and watch these, right? And so we sat down and watched those tapes, and sure enough, when
it helped you.
And they're like, listen, it was 3.5 years ago. What did you have for lunch 2 months ago? I go, what are you talking about? I don't remember. Exactly. So the way you answer every question is to the best of my knowledge. Right. And that's what these tapes did, is like, here's how you answer. And if they ask you, their job is to get emotion and get you to give more information. So it was an entire set to say, and different things like, oh, I would have said, yep, can't say that, because that's what they want you to.
So it's literally telling you how to answer.
Yeah. So all I had to do is remember the play when I was in there, because let's remember, it's a court of law. It's not a court of justice. Right. So I had to remember the play and not get excited about the play.
Right? Fair enough.
Yeah.
And you did so.
I knew my part. Yeah.
Fair enough. So let's get into claims, right?
Well, first of all,
what?
As a small business owner,
okay,
it's a necessary evil and an expensive necessary evil.
Insurance?
Yeah.
You just want to talk insurance.
Well,
yeah.
Well, and this is why a lot of small business, I don't believe, go through the process of making claims, because if I make a claim, my rates are going to go. I wish Jeff was here, right, to talk to us.
I called everybody.
Right?
Jeff's out of town. The Jeffs are out of town.
Yeah, quote unquote.
Yeah, well, I've called other people. They're out of, everybody's off on summer break now.
With Young, I've given him my tactic is he lives in Wonder Lake, so if he goes into Woodstock, he's out of town. You understand what I'm saying? He may not be on a vacation or what we would think is out of town.
Out of town.
But if he goes to get something to
I get what you're saying. Listen,
he's out of town.
I'm out of town all the time. Then.
All the time, right?
All the time. So I like your analogy.
You don't have to lie at that point. Some point this weekend, I will be out of town.
Let's just state the facts, right?
The facts. Exactly. So, but what happens is, if I make this claim, my rates are going to go up, and I can't afford my rates to go up. So it's better for me maybe to just let me try to settle out, or give you $500, or you know what I'm saying?
Which is what? Yeah. Well,
Or I may settle and just say, you give me 500, we'll shake hands, because right, I'm a small business, and this could ruin me or make it too expensive.
I have actually done that before.
Okay.
And it was to the benefit of the person that struck me.
Yeah.
I was not at fault. I got rear-ended. I was in my truck, which has a hitch off the back, right?
Yeah,
a ball hitch.
To pull a trailer.
Right. And mine is one of the multiple ones. So it's got three balls and a hook. 3 balls and a hook. And it's substantial. And I was on the freeway, and we just crossed over the Indiana-Illinois border. I was with my daughter, my oldest. I was picking her up for summer camp last year.
Oh, nice.
And we were driving back, and we were in stop and go traffic, and I stopped, and the person behind me didn't.
Oh, yeah.
And I just felt this boom, right? It was enough to make me jostle, right? Nothing big, right? It was a car, a 4-door smaller sedan, right? Yeah. My daughter's like, what was that? And I go, we just got rear-ended in an accident. And she goes, we did? And I go, yeah, hang on. Threw it in park, got out while all the other traffic's moving, got out, walked back to the back, looked at my truck, which I have, for those that don't know, my truck is wrapped in a sticker. It's fully wrapped, 100% wrapped. So my bumper is a bluish, fade. And if somebody hits my bumper, that's not only a new bumper, but a new sticker that has to be put on there. And so I walked back, I looked at my bumper's totally untouched, looked at their bumper, they have a big old hole like this. And I looked at them, their window was down, and I walked back to their window and I looked at them, I go, you're damn lucky I had my hitch on. Have a good day. Right. And just got back in my truck and kept driving. And just because their car is screwed up, it's not mine, right? Like the truck was totally fine.
Yeah.
Nothing was wrong with it. So I was like, I've done that before where I just, submitting the claim would be so much more of a hassle. Hi, Mom. Hey, Mom. So much more of a hassle if I were to submit the claim. Then just to get the police report, you have to just go say, hey, here's the guy's I have to get their license plate. I have to get their information. Then I got to submit it. You still want to drive away, but
I should say hi to Linda, not Mom. I think we're close to the same age. Hey, Linda, how are you?
I still say hi, Mom.
I know.
I'm sorry.
You're young.
Hi, Mom. Yeah. So to me, I don't know. I'm okay with it in certain occasions, but if it's anything to do with an injury,
well, right? Yeah. So I mean, like for yours, work comp.
Oh, if somebody cuts their finger
or just throws their back out or whatever, right? Oh, right. No, but so you're saying not even cut it off, just
a laceration, just a simple cut.
Doesn't need stitches or anything. Just
no stitches, just heavy duty enough to where
so let's talk about
something
that.
Needs to be done.
Yeah.
Go get yourself looked at. If it's under our deductible, we're still going to pay it, but you're still going in. So that's actually a great point. We do that for documentation.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have workers and employees. In our eyes, I don't want an employee to go, or even an auto accident, if they don't go and get it. Like, no, go get yourself looked at right now.
Yeah.
Right. Because if you don't, and it comes down the line and you try to blame it on me, I have documentation or records showing that, no, you went and got it handled. You refused to go and get it handled.
Yeah. So let's stay in this lane for a minute. Of course, in the trades, it's one thing. And you know what? Hey, I threw a little dirt on it, wrapped it in duct tape. I kept going.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then 3 weeks later, this thing is infected and needs to be amputated. And now I've got to go, no, that was your fault, Joe. Wait, what?
Why was it my fault? I told you to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
I have it on writing. I have it documented that I told you to go to the hospital. Told you to go to emergency care and get it looked at. Told you to go and get it cleaned out.
Yeah.
Right? Oh yeah, absolutely. Like to me, throwing $500 or whatever, saying, "Hey, dude, sorry, whatever you need to do. Here's some bandages and some Neosporin. Good luck."
Right. And now let's move out of the trades. Let's go into the banking industry. That was the hardest thing for me to have employees understand. Being sick or getting cut. Right. I mean, you paper cut or whatever. Right.
It's so funny that we talk paper cuts versus somebody chopping a finger off.
Right. But it's kind of the same thing.
So true. To be honest,
dirty.
What?
Money's dirty, bro.
Money is disgusting.
Right.
First off. Second, there's so many things that you potentially could lift in an office that most people don't understand that are actually heavy.
Actually, yes.
A box of reams of paper, right? If you're in a bank, you're talking so many coins.
I got a hernia working at this was of course working at Menards when I was younger.
That's a construction store, so that makes sense. But I'm talking like you talk like a bag full of coins.
Oh, yeah.
That adds up fast in weight.
Yeah, that's the reason why a lot of them. There was cost to it, but also just the heaviness. People were throwing their backs out and things of that nature. You're asking a 100-pound, employee to lift a 75-pound bag of quarters.
Right. Exactly. Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like people don't really realize how much things can add up in weight in an office. Not only that, but the awkwardness of picking them up and putting them down, usually in the places they go.
The weight of them. Here's what I love is like put $2 million in a briefcase and drop it off, and you just see this person carrying it like it's a briefcase. $1 million is heavy. It's heavy.
Right, 100%. Have you held $1 million before?
Not
cash?
$1 million, not $1 million cash. No, but I have.
What's the most you've held? And did it hurt your back?
Probably $250,000.
Really?
It's pretty heavy. Yeah.
It was pretty heavy?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And that was all wrapped, and
cock block and ready to rock, Doc. Small bills.
No,
Hondo?
it was all
Hondo?
hundreds ones. I mean, it was all of them.
A plethora. Yeah. I like that. All right, let's get back to. Did you get a paper cut while counting it?
No.
Did the machine count it? Did the machine get a paper cut? Did the machine get a paper cut while counting it?
Yeah. No.
No.
Right.
Go ahead.
So there it is. So, but a good employee goes, you know what, Joe, I don't want I don't want to run because a lot of times
100%,
because a lot of time it's you and 2 or 3 guys or gals, and it's like, you know what, I'll be fine. I don't want to, you know, if I go, you know, your insurance premiums are going to go up. You know what, I'll be fine.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with my insurance premiums going up.
Yeah, that's what you're right. You have to say that. Yeah.
That's. I mean, bottom line, anybody that's not okay with their insurance premiums, to be honest, if you're as a business owner, and this is one of the things that we as a business really promote at Restoration One is safety. If you're a business owner operating in any realm, if you're an office manager, the best way to keep your insurance premiums down is to practice all the right safety things, right? So for us, every Monday, so once a week, we do safety talks. And we talk about something every week that's a little bit different. And they're 15 to 20 minutes, but it's enough time to focus on making sure that our guys stay safe out there while being in some very dangerous areas. Right? Our guys are in, you know, dealing with wet basements that have electricity running through them. There's so many safety issues for us. So yeah, I think that, I don't know, if you are worried about your insurance premiums, you should be worrying on being proactive rather than reactive to fight your insurance premiums, rather than reactive of like, oh my God, you had an injury. Yeah, let's go this route. Let me go stitch it myself.
Right. And put a little super glue on it.
Super glue. Oh God, do you know how many times I've super glued myself back together? Yeah.
Right. That's why I say super glue works great.
Yeah, but this wasn't.
That's what they did to Coach Papa. They super glued. They didn't stitch it back up.
First. No, liquid. Yeah. Oh, super glue is like amazing. My dad's
for scars.
My dad's been using it on us since I was a kid, like really little, because he's always been a paramedic, and that's what they always carry.
So $1 million in ones is 2,202 pounds. That's a lot.
I love that you just did the math on that.
Right. Yeah. And if it's $50 bills, $50 bills,
okay,
44.09 pounds. If it's $100 bills, it's just over. It's about 22 pounds.
22 pounds for $250,000 in hundreds. Yeah. So $1 million would be 88 pounds.
Yeah.
You're not carrying an 88-pound briefcase like it's nothing.
No, you're not swinging. Or running with it,
especially because $1 million, I assume 88 pounds of paper is not going to fit into a briefcase. No, there's no way. So that I'm glad we circled back to that. Thank you.
Now, if we stay on this, the processing, the piece of this, as a small business owner, you worked for people in your day who, if you hurt yourself, probably were like, you're not hurt. You're not hurt, Joe. I can't have you go to the doctor.
So many times.
Yeah.
Restaurant industry.
Oh, big time.
Restaurant industry loves that. You know how many times you burn yourself as a cook?
I imagine.
So many times. My wife, Carrie, she spilled, like, I think it was boiling. It was either boiling water or a pan of oil on top of her foot, and it ran into the boot. Yeah. Oh yeah. She, like, I can remember when I was a cook, every cook, I know cooks.
Yeah.
Because you notoriously see the burn mark right here,
right there,
on their arm.
Yeah.
And that's from grabbing things out of an oven. You don't open the oven door all the way. You open it just enough to get your hand in and the product out because you're moving fast. So you don't open it all the way. And you can also get a little closer if it's not opened all the way, because then your feet aren't as close. I know cooking very well. And so you open it just enough, reach your hand in there, grab whatever's there, and you're either hitting the top. If you hit this part, your forearm, right down the inside of your forearm, and you burn it on the top of that oven as you're pulling things out. And so you could tell a cook every single day. Look at the forearm. It's not like cut marks. Right. It's literally like a burn mark. Yeah. It's like somebody took
kind
a
of
finger.
Raspberry.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, a line of a raspberry right across their inside their forearm, and every time. And I guarantee none of them. How many times they cut themselves on the line while they're dicing something up? They cut themselves.
You see it on shows all the time.
Exactly. Everything goes into the garbage. Clean the cutting board. Clean the knife. Cut my, go over. Super glue it back together. Throw a new glove on. Go back to cutting. Gloves full of blood. Need to go back. Yeah. Right? Like, so many. Cooking is probably the industry where they completely look past work comp. Slip and falls in cooking.
Yeah, in restaurant all the time.
Yeah,
you got to get the no slip shoes. Did you have those? Were you wearing your no slip?
We were required to. Yeah, we were in a chain, so we were required to wear non-slip shoes. But it doesn't matter. Like, no, you still slip that. I mean, I could come around the corner and knew what pull to grab, right? So that I would sling me around the corner as I'm going, right, and just corner, and then you grab it and run behind, right? I see. To me, there's so many industries that do just totally overlook in the banking industry or any office, right? Cube farms. I sat in a cube farm forever. I overlooked it then. There's so many back problems that I have from sitting at a desk.
Just
sitting at a desk and doing this. Right? My shoulders are so shot from like this, right? Tapping away. And I spent all day yesterday or the day before. It was the day before just doing this. Yeah. Right.
So I bought myself a stand-up desk. It goes on the desktop so that I can stand up during the day. Just for that same reason. Because your lower back, you end up killing your lower back because you're sitting
lower, middle, everything. Right. And so many people don't understand that, and they go through their entire life, right? Migraines, whatever, bad health issues, all this stuff that could be prevented by, maybe not prevented, but submitting that's, I don't know if that's claimable. I don't know. I don't know what. Right. Let's get into what's claimable.
Yeah.
Right. What does it take to make a claim?
Well, there's got to be two parties, I would guess. One has to be injured or.
Well, you have to have to be honest, it's all about the contract.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. The contract is really it. So you have your health insurance, you have your property insurance, you have your auto insurance, you have your general liability, whatever it may be. Right. All of those, you have to have the contract, and it's really what the contract says. A lot of people have no idea what that contract says and what really they're liable for, or versus the insurance companies.
I remember when Ashley, she's be 27, when she was born, and she was born in Mason City, Iowa, and we got a big bill after her.
I remember our oldest now
after her birth.
Yes,
and I'm like, what is this? We have insurance. No, we feel that in your area, this is too much for a birth. And I'm like, we cover up to this because in your area, this is what it should be. And I'm like, but it's not. I'm like, this was a birth in this area. This is how much it costs, not how much you think it costs.
Kent, this is literally like our industry right now. My industry right now is somebody calls us, right?
Yeah.
Same thing. You had a medical emergency. Yeah. Right? I cut my leg off.
Yeah.
Medical emergency. Ambulance needs to come and show up. Yeah. Right? I'm not asking what the bill is.
No.
Right? In my industry, people still have to ask what the bill is. People still have to I still have to get them to sign saying, not just, hey, you're medically hurt, get in the ambulance, let's go. Right. No, it's, hey, your basement's underwater. Please sign here and understand.
Whoa, yeah.
Right? Then I go and submit the bill after I'm done, and the insurance company comes back and says that's not a reasonable rate for this area. Same thing you got, and says we're only going to pay this. and excuse my language, but not excuse my language, motherfucker, I already did the work.
Right.
You can't argue with my bill after I've done the work.
Exactly.
Right? Like, this is my rate. We signed it. We agreed upon it because I took those steps in the beginning to tell you what my rates are. Here's all the work we did. Rate times what we did equals bill.
Yeah.
Don't argue with me after we're done, right? Like, you got taken, you went to the hospital, your wife had a child, everything's said and done.
Our coverage was 80-20.
Right? 80-20.
We had a $1,500 deductible, whatever the deductible was at that time.
Right.
I don't know.
That's it.
That was back in the 90s. I have no idea. Right. So it was maybe 500. I don't know.
Could be. Right? Whatever it was.
And so we met our obligation. And then they said, nah, it's too much. No.
We don't agree with this.
No, obviously, it's not too much because this is what it cost here. And we went round and around. I ended up having to pay for it.
Oh, really?
Right? But we went round and around. I'm like, what?
How okay, curiosity. How much was, just for the sake of comparison, because my oldest,
$6,000. Let's just say $6,000 or
$6,000. Okay, my oldest just turned 12 yesterday.
Yeah. Hey, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Lily. My oldest just turned 12 yesterday, and 12 years ago, we got a bill for 3 days for my wife to have our child, our eldest, and it was $22,000 for 3 days in the hospital. I don't know. I don't remember what we paid. My wife paid the bills. I just made the money back then. Our terminology was, I bring home the bacon, she makes it sizzle.
There you go.
Right? So I assume she did pretty well because she's pretty savvy like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, how do you argue something like that?
Hey, you can't, right? It's just like,
how do you argue something like that?
Right. And so we did the whole thing, call the hospital. Hey, you overcharged? No, this is what our rates are. No, it can't be because this is too much for this area. No, this is what our rates are. Hey, I just got off the phone with the hospital. They said, this is what their rates are. Obviously, it's not too high for this area.
That's what their rates are.
And it was northern Iowa, north central Iowa, right?
That's standard hospital for the area.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably one of the leaders in the area.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we went to. Although I will say that ours was pretty standard. I think we just had to pay our deductible.
Yeah. So, and you sit here and go, hey, I can't put her back in there. She's not going back in there to go to a different hospital or refund.
Which is funny because that's what I always tell people. I want to tell adjusters is, do you want me to go put the water back?
Right.
I'll go put all the water back where it was.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'll go make it wet again. I just got rid of all the water. I'll go put it all back. Yeah. You want me to go spray shit all over that house again? I'll go spray shit everywhere. I'll go put all that work back and not charge you a dime.
The flushable wipes we'll put back in there.
Oh, the disposable diapers are the worst. Oh, they're so bad. So let's set up a basic system of, how do you start if you have something go wrong, right? You can't plan on an emergency or an accident.
Correct.
Right? Correct. So let's say, boom, something goes wrong.
Yeah, I'm glad you're going down this road. Good.
Why?
Well, we're a small business. It's me and two guys here, right? So small business. How much time do I put towards filing? You know what I'm saying? If I'm not working, I'm not making money to pay this.
100%.
So, but if I'm 100%. Sitting in the office all day trying to file this, I mean, how much time do I budget for this claim?
Depends on the severity, on how much it could cost you, right?
I suppose,
to me, so I think first and foremost, as somebody that is going to have a vested interest in defending this claim or this loss or whatever it may be, defending meaning you could be the person that the accident happened to, who's not at fault, right? Yeah. But and it's complete accident. However, right, your house catches on fire due to a lightning strike. Right? Complete natural disaster. Your home caught on fire. However, now your insurance company is going to you're going to have to defend yourself against your insurance company. Correct. Because they're going to look to short you and not pay those full amounts.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's where you have to. So, boom, disaster hits, some bad accident, something bad happens. You need to immediately play scientist and immediately start building a not a case, because I don't want to say case, you're like a lawyer then, but literally like your hypothesis, all your evidence, right? You literally need to start going through and going, okay, what exactly happened? I need to recreate what happened through a scientific manner. Right? Not emotionally. Oh my God, it was a loud boom. I screamed. I was running around. Things were on fire. There was smoky. I couldn't breathe. Right? That doesn't give any scientific evidence of what happened. Right? So I think in the beginning, and this is one of the things I love to tell people and it's not an insurance claim, but if they want to know how to get rid of mold, right, or know if mold is growing more, I always tell people, look, you got to be a scientist. Take a picture in one spot, click with the exact same lighting, right? Click. Now, 3 months later, go back and take a picture. Don't do it at a different time of day with a different camera, with a different lighting. Use the exact same camera, exact same lighting, exact same time of day. Click, take another picture. Now compare the two. Right? You have two exact things to compare, right? That's what you have to do as if you have something bad go wrong is, all right, I literally need to start taking pictures of everything, right? Even walking through with a video. But most people don't understand that a video, most people are going like this, and you can't see anything, right? You gotta actually take a slow video. But
Eric, how are you, brother? Glad to have you with us.
What's happening, Eric?
He says with cyber insurance, because of course, Eric, we know IT.
You need to document
the
everything.
Best bearded IT guy on the west side of McHenry. With cyber insurance claim, you need to document everything. And Carrie Turner and Carrie, thanks for tuning in. Says I'm coming into this late. Great show only starts at 3 every week, but you should be able to count on the professionals to help you determine what I say that because I'm without. She can't hit me right now.
I know. Yeah, she's gonna text me right now to throw something at you, and the only thing reachable that I could throw
is that salt rock or whatever that. I don't know. The crystal at the
It's a crystal.
Anyway, she says. You should be able to count on the professionals to help you determine what the cause of loss was. You should never have to do this alone.
And that's truly where I think a lot of people don't rely on.
As a business owner, I would. I'll figure it out.
I got it. I'll do it myself. Yep. I don't need to handle this. I can clean up this water.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. And a lot of people, that's kind of going back to like cut my finger. Got it. Rub some dirt, or no, we got this. We'll use some super glue real quick and call it good. You really should call on the experts because they've been through it before. They know exactly what to do to walk you through that process, right? I think many times in medical claims or auto claims, we kind of are left behind because the medical practitioner that you're going to see isn't going to give you, they're worried about paying their bill. They're not worried about your bill, right? Then an auto accident, the only person you really have to talk to that's on your side is your agent. Same with auto. And that's really kind of the same with a property claim, is you really only have your agent on your side to defend you and understand, or should understand and know your policy, what it gets you, where you can go, how much you can get.
By the way, Eric, how'd you shoot in golf yesterday? I had to run right after I didn't get talked.
Oh, that's too sad.
Carrie also says, do not always assume the insurance is the bad guy. Joe, you're making it seem like that. Assume that they do not know anything, not that they are bad people.
Okay.
But Carrie, I think he's taking the standpoint of every small business owner right now.
Right.
Is that outside of my people, you're my highest expense, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm scraping by.
Or could be, depending on what you're doing.
Could be.
Right. Depending on what you're
one
doing.
of my highest expenses.
Correct.
Right. And so all I know is what my neighbor told me is that insurance companies just want to get rich off of us small business people. Not what my insurance agent that I have a relationship told me.
Right.
It's what my neighbor across the fence told me.
It's the perception. It's the perception of, right?
Correct.
Now, when let's be honest, I don't want insurance companies to be the bad people.
No.
What I'm saying is insurance companies are who you are litigiously going up against in this claim.
Yeah.
Right? This is a legal contract, and through that legal, there is one side of the legal battle. So if you're going to court over this contract, there is the insurance side versus you.
Yes.
Who is making the claim. And that's the issue that I'm saying is, they may not be bad people. The adjuster, the agent, the CEO of the company that right? They may all be great people. However, when it comes down to the court of law and the contract that you have signed between the two of you, which is what actually matters, it's you against them. It's Joe Turner versus State Farm country or
just like you getting into business, they are not .org. They're not a nonprofit.
100%. Yeah, which that's it too. And I'll say this in defense of them right now, they're getting squeezed on the backside because all homeowners insurance companies they're back. What they call reinsurance is skyrocketing right now. The E&S market is multiples what it used to be. And so just to understand that backside and know that you're not getting a rate raise because you haven't had a claim and you're the most model citizen for your insurance company and they just hate you. Right. No, you're getting a rate raise because their expenses are going up. Right. They're seeing claims more and more, right? Like there's so much to that realm. My I don't know what you would call it. My stance right now for this show is more the fact of it is, in fact, you, the claimant, against them, the defendant, right? In the sense that you have a claim, there's a contract between you and them, so they pay you because of that claim.
Let's go with a scenario.
Right.
You own a construction company. We're doing some roofing. I slip off the roof and I break my ankle.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We know it's broke. There's no denying I have to go to the hospital.
Are we talking like break, like there's like bones sticking out and blood spurting?
No blood spurting.
Oh,
so just
bones sticking out.
Bone sticking out.
That's a good break.
Right?
Okay.
Good break. And now you're there because it's you and two other guys. And now you got to drive me, who fell off the roof, just because I was cutting some wood and the sawdust blew up under my shoes and down I went. Right. Broke the ankle. Now you're taking your time where you're running me to the emergency room.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. You're covered. Don't worry. Right.
I'm saying that as the owner of the business.
Yeah. Right.
I'm saying to the employee as we're driving, don't worry, I got you, bro. You're good. We're gonna go there. We're gonna get you checked out. I got you.
Right? Isn't that what you would say?
Yep, that's exactly what I say.
Yeah. So we get there, and now it's I'm in a boot now. They do the surgery, whatever. We're on a workman's comp claim at this point, and workman's comp does take some time sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So walk me through that process. Walk me through how much time you lose. Walk me through how much time it's costing you. Is it saving your business? You know what I mean? What's happening at this point?
For a business owner, if I lose an employee due to a broken ankle, I would immediately be thinking, how do I find another employee to replace him temporarily? Yeah. Right. Immediately you got to find somebody to replace them because they're out for at least 2 to 3 months.
At least.
Yeah. Right. If they're doing it properly.
Came through. Yeah.
If their bone came through 2 to 3 months at least, right? Reconstructive surgery. You're talking, right?
Screws, plates, the whole works.
The whole 9 yards. Yes. So my immediate thought would be to, as a proper business owner, would be to, get them into the hospital, get this going with work comp, knowing that it's going to be paid out by work comp. It's going to be handled. Everything needs to be done through that. That way, I have a record of it, but B, I cannot be, again, seen later and taken to court saying you didn't do anything.
Correct.
Right. But then come him coming back, I have a reason that if something were to happen again, now I have a reason to get rid of this employee.
Sure.
Right. And if I get rid of them now, maybe my work comp goes down a little bit because now this person
now you got how much of a bill are we talking? Reconstructive surgery?
I mean, you're probably talking, I don't know. You're probably talking a couple of $100,000.
Okay, so let's
I would think like $300,000.
Workman's comp comes back and says, you know what? He wasn't tied off up on that roof.
Oh, proper safety, right?
Didn't have the proper safety.
Yep, lanyard.
So, Joe,
we're not covering it.
We're not covering that.
You know,
Now, I would imagine that it's certain feet. So let's say it's a ranch and you're only 8 feet off the ground.
Usually it's past 6. Just not
okay. Yeah, I don't know that.
I think OSHA is 6.
Yeah, I don't know that.
I'd have to ask my safety officer.
So they come out and they measure and it's 6'3".
Right. Okay.
3 inches over.
Right. Whatever. Right.
Hey, should have been.
Sorry. Yeah, should have been this.
Yeah.
You know.
Now I understand that he's 6'7". He could have just hung on there, but he didn't.
Right.
No, I'm joking on that part. But you know what I mean?
Just
they come in
down.
They come in and it's just over.
Uh-huh.
And they deny the claim.
Uh-huh.
You're on the hook for it.
Uh-huh. I think you get a lawyer at that point.
Yeah.
Like it really, so again, I'm going to boil it back down to what we've originally started with. It depends on your contract.
Yeah.
Right? Your contract will spell out negligence on your fault as a business owner. Right. So if they say that we determine you to be negligent, usually there's some kind of verbiage that says something along the lines of like consistently or on a regular basis or whatever. But if you require your employees to have, proper safety tie-offs and you go through proper safety and you have the records of that and all that, and you have the history that shows that you require them to do that. It's just this one time this dude wasn't doing it, fell off and broke his ankle. There should be no problem with them covering it. And at that point, I would get an attorney to go against that insurance company because there's no reason why they shouldn't be covering it. If there is true negligence on my part,
no training, you never had
no training, we don't even own what's a harness.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, well, you telling me that 3 buckets stacked on top of each other that make stairs, they can't use that to walk up high enough and jump up on the roof?
Right.
Wait, you saying that's not allowed, right? Like,
right.
Yeah, there's certain things I think as a business owner, if you're doing it properly, you have no problem. But I think inherently you're going to find business owners that no matter what, they're not going to do it properly because they're not doing other things properly. And that's just who they are. Right. Like, the people that don't do it right.
Yeah. Now, is this something, and again, shout out to all of our insurance agents who wanted to come on here. Appreciate you.
And really showed up.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Yeah. There you go. All those that replied on Facebook. I'm in. Where you at?
All right. So so it's you.
Yep.
It's 3 guys. 1 goes down, broken ankle. You're looking for the 3rd now to keep things rolling. You don't have time. You've got 5 jobs, right? I mean, you're loving life. It's going good right now, but you're busy. Is that where you lean on your insurance agent? Say, can you take care of this for me? Is that their job?
As far as submitting the claim,
can you handle this claim for me? Can you take care of this, buddy?
I think it really depends on your agent.
Yeah,
I think that's a big shout out to the agent that
Mary Shep, for crying out loud.
Who the agent is. I think it's really who the agent is.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's so many agents out there that would totally
George Chase. I'm just throwing out all the insurance people.
I mean, Jeff Young, George, we got so many insurance peeps out there that just aren't even. They're not even. They all said they wanted in. Now they're just not even.
It's
Friday afternoon. I get it.
Flag Days next week.
I got my shirt on for Friday afternoon.
Right.
You like
Flag Days next week. So
If you really need your agent, I think, and they value your business, I think they would absolutely be willing to give you a hand. However, there's a fine line between, I think, what they're allowed to help you with and what they're not. Because, again, your insurance claim essentially is the beginning of a lawsuit. Right? Like it literally is saying, hey, I've had this happen against our contract and I'm enforcing the contract.
Right. So like when we made a claim on the home, I signed that the contractor, right, can speak for me and work that way. Right. Because I'm like,
was that an assignment of benefits or was that a authorization for whatever it was? Doesn't matter.
I think it was authorization, whatever, right? Because I'm like, all right, I'll still need to sign the check. I get that, but they're not on my policy, but they're doing the work. They're the the GC. So you can speak directly.
Totally. I get what you're saying. Yeah. And when you did that, that's not your insurance agent.
No.
Because your insurance agent is a representative, which means they're kind of playing an immoral position, representing the insurance company and representing you at this and telling you what to do, advising you what to do. Right. That's what, they call them PAs. Oh crap. Now I'm going to, damn it. What the hell? How did I just draw a blank on that? A PA is a it's a TPA. No, third party adjuster.
Oh, third party.
Right?
Yeah,
right. A third party adjuster.
Like an appraiser comes in on a mortgage.
Correct.
We can't talk with the appraiser. It's got to be.
No. So a TPA or a third party adjuster is an adjuster who represents you instead of representing the insurance company.
Yeah.
Right. So the insurance company gets an adjuster. Why shouldn't you have an adjuster?
Right.
Why not go to battle tank versus tank instead of tank versus pea shooter?
Yeah, that's kind of what we did.
Yeah, exactly. So you need a representation. It's not always the wisest decision. In fact, it's oftentimes not the wisest decision because that's usually only good when it comes to large losses, where you have especially high-end goods in your home, because oftentimes your adjuster will undercut the value of say the baseboard.
Right.
They're going to say, oh, the baseboard's $5.20 instead of what the actual value is $5.70.
I don't care that you have French stained glass in that door. A door is a door.
Right. And so when you actually boil that down, you're talking what could be hundreds of thousands of dollars when you multiply it out in your loss. So I think when it comes to anything that really gets extensive and complicated and a lot of moving parts, i.e. big old medical bills or something like that, maybe not big old medical bills, but if you start to see like frequency in medical bills, things like that, I think, or a large home loss, I think you really should at least have an opinion. Maybe not bring in an adjuster, but at least know somebody you can talk to, because if you're not savvy enough, you can easily get walked on and be short.
Yeah.
But you can also, have a great adjuster. There's so many different realms and so many different variables that I really think that it's just knowing what you're doing. If you're really savvy and detail oriented, you could do it all yourself and totally come out totally A-okay and be fine. But if you're not detail oriented and you're not savvy, I think there could really be some issues
that chum to the sharks.
Kind of sometimes. Yeah. And I hate to see that happen to people because they don't realize it till after the fact.
Yeah.
Right. And then it's too late. Everything's closed up, done. You can't really get your money back or any more money or anything like that. And now you're like, you have a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's so many variables.
Yeah.
So
that's just the ins, the outs. And as a small business owner, again, it's that kind of that necessary evil. And it's that piece that says,
you gotta have
it. You're protecting your insurance and those processes and filing claims. That's protecting your business. That's protecting your livelihood.
Your assets.
Assets.
Yeah. And And that's really it, is you have to have that hesitation. But if you're not going to be a savvy business owner if you don't have that hesitation in multiple facets of your business, right? Like you have to have that. I think insurance is just one that a lot of people avoid like the plague.
Yeah.
Right? Especially when it comes to dealing with anything claims related. You feel like you're actually going to court and you're in trouble.
Yeah.
When really it may not be, right? So like, yeah, I feel like a lot of people just have this immediate negative connotation towards insurance and claims and things like that, when really we should just kind of have an open mind to go into it, but treat it. I really think people have got to treat it like you're a scientist, right? So, gather your evidence, gather your knowledge.
With your franchise, does your franchise say, here's the level you have to carry, here's what you have to do? Yours doesn't. I don't know if others do. That's why I'm asking.
Some may not. Yeah. There's certain things they tell us I think we have to do, maybe like general liability, but that's like the $1 million, $2 million, the normal limits, right? Because we're multi-state, each state's different when it comes to like auto, right? So they advise you to buy good insurance. They give us some contacts, which is funny because back in my insurance days, one of my clients was the company that they recommend for writing insurance for our franchises. So, it's interesting to see what they recommend, but no, they don't, because states are different, right? Your franchise exposure is different. So I think they would actually be getting into some trouble by recommending what you need to have, because your levels of coverage need to be different based on the size of your business, what you may have, right? If I don't have an actual location that I own, I don't need property coverage, right? So they can't really advise you, and they're not insurance agents themselves, right? So all right. So let's kill this donkey.
We've come to the time. What did we learn today?
I'll let you go first.
Here's what I learned today is make sure you're tied off on that roof so you don't blow your ankle out when you do it. No, what I learned is I think that you have to approach each filing, if there is one, as another job, right? So, hey, I've got to allow so much time for this, and I have to pay attention to this. And here's the date that I hope to have this wrapped up. Right. So I think as a small business owner, a lot of people don't do that. So that was really an eye opener for me, is to say, okay, yeah, you do have to take a look at this as another task or another job.
This is going to be on your plate. This is going to be meat, potatoes, or vegetable that's on your plate, right? You got three big things cooking on your plate. It's going to be one of those three, right? You immediately just shoved macaroni and cheese off your dish. And now you got.
So that's I never had thought of it in that realm, but
And if you put the work in the beginning, and that's where I learned like probably the most is the work in the beginning is what really makes the long run easier, right? Because like you said, you 5 years, 3 years later, 3.5 years later, you're not going to remember. And I love that they gave you VHSs. That's what I learned was like. They actually coached you into being on the witness stand. Right. That's something that I learned but to me, that's where if you do the work in the beginning, you don't have to be coached on the witness stand. No, it's this. Because I have it all documented already. Right. That's what we do is we walk in and immediately start documenting everything.
To Eric's point, you document everything as a small business owner. Hey, man, if you're in by the water bubbler and says, man, I wrenched my back. Oh, wait a minute. When, where, how,
right? What was the occasion?
And then document that. Oh, you were working in your yard. Check.
Yep.
Right. Because you
were out drinking late and you don't remember what you did that night before.
Check. Document that.
100%. But at the same time, as a human that might get in trouble, make sure you're writing everything down so that way when they do come and ask you what happened, you can easily explain it.
That's it. Listen, folks, our time here is done. Thanks for tuning in to In the Know with Steph and Joe. Only Joe. Steph had to go. Listen, we'll be back next week. Until then, enjoy life and remember